Tall Tale Radio at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm really excited about this. I didn't expect this to happen, but I'm getting to talk to one of the artists from Lord of the Rings, Narnia, The Hobbit, one of the guys who's the concept artist and designer for the stuff. And as a graphic artist, as an illustrator, and a fan of the Lord of the Rings, the books, I was so impressed with all the art and all the stuff you guys did. So I'm very, very proud to meet you. It's very exciting. Daniel Falconer from New Zealand all the way up here. He's at the Weta booth. We're going to talk about some of the stuff they do. So let's just very quickly, what do you do for Weta?
Sure, I'm a concept artist, so basically I'm part of a large team of guys, and we all jam together on coming up with ideas for the armor, weapons, creatures, you know, a little bit of costuming and props and stuff like that. And we submit ideas to Peter, and he looks at them and tells us which ones he likes. It's kind of like a popularity contest sometimes. You know, we all
armor.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we all want to get our stuff on the board, you know. But it's good fun. I mean, it's a great job.
Great. I think it's the definition of the best job in the world. Thank you very much. I'm just going to point that out. He also designed Sting. He is the designer of the sword Sting, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously a huge moment in geek history is Sting. So what was that like? I mean, seriously, you know, are you a fan of the books originally?
Oh, hugely. And my mother gave them to read when I was like 11 years old, and I devoured them. And I'm like, oh, one day I hope to maybe somehow be involved if these ever get made into a movie. And you know, by good fortune, I happened to be at Weta when the movies came along.
That's
so
amazing.
it was a dream come true.
Yeah, it had to be amazing. Growing up in New Zealand thinking, oh, we're never going to make a Lord of the Rings movie. Oh, wait a second.
I figured that to pursue this kind of career, I'd have to go to the States. I mean, I was stunned when I discovered that Richard Taylor, who's my boss at Weta, actually was based in New Zealand and had this company. I mean, it was incredible. So it's been great.
Was there any pressure you get to design stuff like this? I mean, did you in the back of your head suddenly go, oh my God, I'm designing Sting?
Yes, I mean, that's a really astute point. I mean, obviously we're all just having fun, but by the same token, as a fan of the books, I know that a lot of people are going to discover the books through the movies, and so the pressure to get it right is there, because you know that for a lot of people who see the movies first, their perception of what these things look like when they read the books is going to be colored by what they've seen in the movie. So if you mess it up and do something that's kind of, you know, just inappropriate in the movie, when they're reading the books, they're going to have a hard time getting that out of their head. So, I mean, I don't know if it's right or not. I felt good about it, but, you know, we do our best. And the reception we've had has been very, very positive. So for the most part, I think hopefully we got it right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even the hardcore fans. I know that the kind of people who actually read the runes on the wall of Balin's tomb, they're like, wait a second, that one should be over here. You know, they're kind of crazy.
And Peter Jackson is all about the details, too, which is great, because as big Tolkien nerds for all of us, you know, we're all about the details, too. And this is the kind of project that absolutely demands it. I mean, you just couldn't do The Lord of the Rings without going to that level. So we had a guy, we contacted one of the experts on translating Tolkien, David Salo, and we would communicate with him back in those days by fax.
Wow. That's how old the movies are.
Old school. And, you know, and we would say, hey, we're doing designing this sword, what do you think it should say, and that sort of thing. And he would come up with ideas for the inscriptions and provide the text to us, and then we would, you know, make it into some pretty design. Like in the case of Sting, which says, Sting, or Magnus is my name, I am the spider's bane. And which is kind of appropriate, you know, considering what it gets used for. So we figure that Bilbo, you know, he's used it on the spiders, and he's got home, and he's hanging out, maybe he's hanging out in Rivendell for a little while on the way home, and he's like, hey, I'm going to get this engraved, and get some talented elven engraver to put that on the sword.
That's brilliant. I love the backstory for all that. Actually, one of my favorite things as a fan was when I got the discs, the extended versions, was to listen to all of the backstage stuff, which is, you guys do great work with that. Just the documentary after documentary that I absorbed, you know, such effort and such, you know, care you guys put into it. It's really beautiful. As far as the collectibles go, how did they do? I mean, why did Weta get into that? I have talked to Tim about this, and he basically is keeping the artist busy in between films is good. But what is it for you about the replicas?
Well, I think, to be honest, the reason we're in it, as much as it is about keeping workflow, because New Zealand is a small country after all, and so that's an issue. You know, between films, obviously, you don't want to lose your workforce. Mm-hmm. Richard Taylor, our boss, is a huge garage kit. Model kit collector and painter. He loves all that stuff, and so, you know, he has this massive collection. And so when we're realizing as we're working Lord of the Rings, hey, this is going to be big, and, you know, somebody is going to be making, we called them collectible kits at the time. I guess now the Polystone Collectibles is the way they've ended up being. Somebody's going to be doing these, and Richard's attitude is, well, why shouldn't it be us? You know, we're the closest to the project. We know these characters inside out. We've got the best reference. So we looked went to New Line and looked for a license to do that while the movies were getting made. And the actors really supported us. They had this great little video that we shot with the actors like, please, you know, do it with them. We know them. They're our friends. We know. And New Line saw the sense in it, and they were kindly enough. They granted us a license, and so we did. At the time, we were in partnership with Sideshow, and we did a whole bunch of collectibles with them. They were a collectibles company. We did a huge range of Lord of the Rings collectibles with them.
I remember.
And then, in the years since, we've sort of branched out on our own, and the collectible side of the company has grown, and now we're lucky enough to have the Hobbit license. And our first piece is out at Comic-Con this year, which is Thorin, little 1/6 scale Thorin, and he's got a shield that he comes with. There will be another version of that comes out later in the year without the shield that everybody will be able to get, but for the moment, the special one,
with
just for Comic-Con. We're also doing it at RingCon in Europe later this year, so the Europeans have a chance to get their hands on it too. And we'll be selling it in our store back home in New Zealand. And that's just the first of many. Yeah.
What is your favorite piece that you didn't design? Is there anything around here that you would just want to grab and I'm taking home, this is mine?
It's not here at the booth, but my favorite piece on Lord of the Rings that they did make a prop replica of was Arwen's sword, which was also Elrond's sword. And my buddy Warren Mahi was a designer on Lord of the Rings. He designed that. He was also my best man. He's a cool guy. And Warren designed that. And it's just the most beautiful, elegant, just fall on the floor, roll on the floor, amazing sword that he designed. So beautiful. And I have a copy of that, and it sits in proud place in my home. That was, I think, the most beautiful thing in the movie, for me anyway.
I'll ask you one quick nerd question. I love the fact that the dwarves, the elves, the humans, the Rohan, everybody has their own sort of look.
Yes.
Which one is your favorite look?
Oh, unmistakably the elves. I'm an Art Nouveau fan. I just love that aesthetic.
Yeah.
And so with the elves, it's like, well, they're all about nature, right? They're connected to nature, and so it made sense to incorporate that graphic. When we were looking for a particular design signature for them, to me it was obvious that it should be something Art Nouveau inspired, and Peter looked at the drawings we were doing and he agreed that something of that nature would be a good contrast to the dwarves, who are more square and blocky and earthy.
Very angular.
And and so it worked out well, and they're this beautiful, gorgeous looking culture. So no, I love the elven stuff, and it was fun to draw, it's fun to look at, and it's fun to own.
There's the key. Fun to own. Come to Weta Collectibles. That's
Yes.
great.
Buy.
Where can they find stuff online?
You can find us at www.weta.nz. You guys say NZ. Weta is WETANZ.com. And there you'll see images of all the stuff we've worked on the movies. We've got a filmography on there, profiles on all our crew, and then we also have our store on there as well, and you can buy cool stuff.
That's right. NZ for you people, right?
NZ for us. That's right.
Just international audience, very important. Thank you so much for your time. This has been great.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Much.